Hello everyone. Today we are going to tell you a story of how a fat and funny, jet-like man becomes a savior to the people of an island. So, let's start the story. In the opening scene, we see a man named Gulliver. The scene then shifts to when the man is seen in it for a job. He kept asking the candidate some irrelevant questions, until he saw the interviewee had already been selected. Gulliver then takes the candidate along with him and shows him around the office. Besides this, we also see another girl named Darcy, who also used to work there. At first glance, the new employee could tell that Gulliver liked Darcy, but was unable to express his feelings. While they were in the lift, suddenly Darcy came in and the new boy left Gulliver and Darcy alone in the lift, so the pair could interact and know each other. In the next scene, we see Gulliver enjoying music and the new boy coming to Gulliver's room to inform Gulliver that he, the boy, had been promoted and he was Gulliver's boss. Gulliver's boss further says that it's due to your lazy nature that you haven't been promoted, and even Darcy hasn't shown interest in you due to this fact. We then see an upset Gulliver enter into Darcy's room and picking up a form from Darcy's desk. The form was a travel form. After seeing this, Darcy asked him, "Darcy, do you like traveling?" Gulliver, "Oh yes. I love to travel and have been to many places such as New York, UK, India, etc." Darcy, "Happily, well, then you should write about your experiences." In the next scene, we see Gulliver coming to his house and opening his laptop to write about his travel experiences. Sadly, he wasn't able to write anything as, in order to impress Darcy, he had lied about traveling the world. Here we see Gulliver being naughty, and he copies experiences from other people and creates an article which he shows to Darcy the next morning. Darcy is very impressed by his writing and suggests he goes to the Bermuda Triangle to observe and write about the natives there. The next morning, we see Gulliver set off to Bermuda Triangle. Here we see Gulliver meets the captain of a boat who instructs him on how to operate a boat. The captain also tells him to follow the red mark shown, and he will end up in the Bermuda Triangle. After this, Gulliver sails towards his destination. We then see how he falls asleep while going to his destination, and gets trapped in a terrible storm and gets drowned along with the boat. In the next scene, we see Gulliver slowly regaining his consciousness. On regaining his senses, he was amazed at what he saw. He was chained and a few tiny people were standing on his chest. He also saw that a wooden bridge had been constructed on his body. The men thought that Gulliver was a giant and he would eat them up. Thus, they captured Gulliver and had chained him up. Seeing the situation, Gulliver got up and screamed. Here we see a funny scene when the men throw the rope and try to tie it around Gulliver's trousers. Gulliver is then carried off and taken to the king of the island. Here we see Gulliver question the king about where he was, and he also informs the king that he was not a giant or demon, but a simple human being. All this while Gulliver was thinking that he was being pranked by somebody. In the next scene, we see Gulliver being kept captive on the orders of the king. In the cell, we also see another man being kept captive named Horatio. Here we come to know that Horatio is in love with the princess, and thus he has been kept captive by the general, who is the fiancé of the princess. We then see the general reach the scene, to whom Gulliver says, "You are a fool." The general then asks Gulliver to define the term fool, to which Gulliver replies, "Those who think themselves to be the wisest are the real fools." Then we see the general refer to himself as a fool. After some time, we see Gulliver plowing the field while the general sits on him. In the next scene, we see how the island of Lilliput is being attacked by enemies who also take the princess and keep her as a captive. After this, we see Gulliver reaches the place where the princess is being kept and he fights to free her. On the other hand, we see that the people in Lilliput panic as the palace was on fire. Here we see another funny scene where Gulliver says that he would anyhow extinguish the fire, and he urinates there, thus extinguishing the fire. After the fire eases off, we see Gulliver's pee lands on the head of the general and he leaves. After this, the king invites Gulliver for dinner, the condition that Horatio be freed. We then see Gulliver pretend to be the president of USA, and tells the people around about how he transformed New York. The king then assures Gulliver that we will find your boat as soon as possible. In the next scene, we see Horatio and Gulliver planning on how to impress the princess. The scene then shifts to when Horatio is being helped by Gulliver to impress the princess by his funny antics, and the princess agrees. In the next scene, we see that the general goes to inform Gulliver of the fact that his boat has been found. In the scene, we see that Gulliver finds his mobile with voice messages from Darcy, who is on her way to meet him. In the next scene, we again see the kingdom of Lilliput being attacked by the enemies. When Gulliver learns about the fact that he had been promoted to be the general of the kingdom and that the island is under attack, Gulliver travels to the enemy island and fights for Lilliput and defeats the enemy by using his intelligence. In this fight, we see stones being thrown at Gulliver, which he somehow survives and pulls the enemy by his strength and defeats them. Here it must be said that when Gulliver first travels to the enemies, he tried to solve the matter by discussion but later had to fight as the enemies were stubborn. After the fight, we see that Gulliver getting some special treatment and this angered Edward the ex-general, and defeats the enemy by using his intelligence. After this, we see the angered ex-general plot against Gulliver with the help of the enemies as the princess had broken up with him. The wicked ex-general conveyed to the enemies how he knew about a technology to build robots from Gulliver's boat. When Gulliver loses to the general in the battle between the two parties, he is banished from the Lilliput and left to float in the sea. After this, we see how he reaches another island, which has people far larger and taller than him, and here Gulliver is rescued by some people, and then we see how a young girl kept him as a toy girl. In the next scene, we see Horatio meet Gulliver and informs him of how the king and Darcy were being kept captive by Edward the ex-general. After this, we see how Gulliver and Horatio rescues Darcy and the king. The next scene shows an amazing fight between Edward and Gulliver, which Gulliver wins after a lot of struggle with the help of Horatio. In the final few scenes, we see that the princess's marriage to Horatio is fixed by the king himself, and here we also see Edward being slapped by the princess for his deeds and Gulliver confessing his love to Darcy and proposing, which Darcy accepts. This is the story of the movie Gulliver's Travels. Friends,